Hello and welcome, this is Bulldog Games, and today we are going to recreate the shopkeeping series. There was around about 4 to 5 videos that I did for YouTube, and the file corrupted so I couldn't continue, so I decided not to put them out. But we're going to create this back now on Unreal Engine 5 with a little bit of a twist, and we'll see where it goes. So I've created a first person template, and the aim of this sort of little mini series as such is to one minute, let me there we go. For this little mini series as such is to be able to, for example, you'll be able to shoot some balls. I'm going to get rid of that sand because that's bloody annoying. And what you'll do, it will give you points, and then you'll be able to use them points in game to buy specific things at a store or at a drop or at anything else that you decide. So the first things first that I want to do is go into the first person blueprint. I want to try and cancel out that noise, which is probably going to be in the projectile blueprint, but we'll sort that out when it comes to it. So where is the primary action? Call to use item, which is going to be a thing. Yeah, so it's not going to be in here, it's going to be in the projectile, because I need to shut that up. What a gun then. Oh, where's the sound for this? On file projection, yeah, blah blah, play sound at location. It's already getting our location from there, so we're just literally going to bypass that for now. We are going to keep it, but we're just literally going to put a reroute note because it's half annoying, and then connect it straight to the montage play. We're still going to keep this in here, but obviously when we click play, we don't want it making no sound. Only the clicker of my thing, and also that's got a little bit too much drop to it. But we may turn this into a little mini indie game, but we'll see how it goes. So obviously the aim of the game is to fire at these blocks. So obviously it's going to be when it hits, yeah. So we need to create a little mini HUD. So we're going to stay in first person because obviously that's how we're going to play it. We're going to create a user interface and call this a main HUD. Going to open up the main HUD and literally just put a canvas panel in this. Okay, that's all that we're going to put in here, and we're going to control and save this and get rid of this. This is so we can get a reference from the first person character to the main HUD. So obviously begin play, and we're going to call from here, and we're going to create widget. Okay, and the widget that we're going to create is the main HUD. The owning player is self. No, leave the owning player as a thing. We're going to promote this to variable and call this a main HUD because it is a main HUD, and we're going to put this in a refs folder. Now what I've found out is that the bigger the game gets, the more cluttered your variable section gets. So the best thing to do is categorize them, if I'm saying that right, and then we're going to pull out of it and add to viewport. Okay, and that's how we're going to do it. So every first person character that spawns is going to have this. Okay, we're also going to create a new variable, and we're going to call this points, for example. Okay, so you can call this points, cash, dollars, coins, but I'm going to call it points. Compile that and you can change it. So we're going to put the points to about 100. Okay, so because we've literally, sorry, that's a dog going nuts. Because we're gonna select that piece of coding and combine it into a function. One sec, because that's the puppies. So we're going to grab this main HUD here and add to viewport. We're going to right click and collapse the function and change the name of this function as a widget function. Okay, it's just so we know that that is where it spawns the widget. I also do it for casting, so if you hold down S and click, you get a sequence. It's just so you can run many things off the begin play. You know, so you can run off your widget functions, you cast into specific blueprints and things like that off here, and then off here you can run your other stuff. So the points we need to get showing up on our main HUD here. Let's create a folder and call it widgets. It's going to have quite a few of them. So okay, and then we're going to right click, user interface, widget blueprint, and we're going to create this as points holder underscore widget. Oh, widget. So this is the point holder. We're going to have it as a size box. Drag that in. Go up to fill screen at the top here. Click on desired, and then you can clicked on the size box, you can change the child layout, the width and the height. So I want the width to be around about 400, and no, probably not that much, 200, and I want the width to be about 100. Probably a bit too big. Let's probably go 70. There we go. So obviously the points, you're going to need an icon, but for this, if we right click this size box here, we can wrap this size box with a border. Okay, so the border, we can change the color, and I always like going with like a fluorescent blue, and then obviously darkening it down, changing the transparency. It looks a little bit more futuristic there. But on the size box, you would have an image. Okay, so you need to put in a horizontal box first into the size box, and then on the horizontal box, if you put image and drag that in, and a text, and then drag that in. If we click on the text, auto fill it, and then the icon as well. So I'm going to quickly grab myself a little icon, which is, I will show you the website that I use. I use this website all the time. This is the best for game icons. Okay, it's called Icon 8. You can type in anything you want, and it will create that icon for you. So we want points pretty much. So let's just put points, and it'll give us all the icons for points. So you can have stars, or you can have coins, or these sort of things. So if we type in coins, let's get something that's not stupid. Yeah, sorry about that. My dog will not sit down. He's sniffing. He's moving about. He's doing me brain in. Let's go with this coin here. This looks a little bit thingy. So what we're going to do is we're going to download this, and you can get a free PNG 48 by 48. We'll download that. Go into our Unreal editor. Go back to blueprints. Right click this, new folder, textures. Right click again, and then we're going to call this icons. Okay. So anything you want, and I'm just going to drag that in there. So it'll be re-download. So drag it in. You ain't got to do anything. It's just literally there. Icon coin. I like to rename them and just put coin underscore love and underscore icon. Okay. So now when we go back to the points holder, we can click on the image, and we can go to the brush, image, coin icon. Okay, but it doesn't like being that size, so let's slow it down a bit. No, let's not fill it. Let's make it a little bit bigger on here. Okay, so 60 looks a bit naff, but for now, for the purpose of the video, it'll work. So we're going to go 99999, and obviously we're going to want it sitting there and in middle. So obviously the more coins you get, the figure it gets. And then obviously here we'll bind this. So we're going to compile, save this, go to the event graph, pre-construct. Now we create the variable points. We now need to go on to our point holder widget, pull off here, cast to first person, because that's what we're in, first person character. The object is going to be the player pawn, as it always is. We're going to promote to variable and keep that, and then put that variable in a ref. You never know how much you're going to need, but it's good to get in the habit of that. Back to the design, click onto this, click onto the text, go to the content text, bind, first person character, points, compile, save. Now if you press play, still nothing will show up. Okay, nothing will show up. The reason for that is because we haven't actually implemented it into the main HUD widget. So we just literally want to go over to here, user created points holder widget, and plot it wherever you want to plot it. Make it as big as you want to make it, just so it doesn't look too stupid. And then obviously click and then anchor to what you want. And then I always like anchoring it like this, so it stops it moving around the page. Compile, save, play. Now it says we have 100 points. Okay, and then obviously now, because we've got the points sitting on the third person character, which is here, we want to add points every time we shoot something. So every time we shoot, where are we sitting, right? So where would it be? Nope, won't be in arms. That's the gun. Blueprints. Do we have a, what are these? These are static mesh objects. Okay, so we need to create an AI, for example, but what we're going to do, we're not going to do that now. What we're going to do is we can do, because obviously the AI can move about and you can shoot them, but for this particular first episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the blueprint and put it on the rifle, not the rifle, the projectile. So on event hit, so when the projectile hits something, we want to simulate physics of that component. Add a pulse, destroy actor, right? So if it hits something, then we want to add points. Okay. Okay, so if the projectile hits something, then we want to destroy points. But what we want to do first is we want to be able to, if we're going to the event begin play again, cast to our third person. Now there is first person, cast to our first person character again. Objective player pawn, and then we want to duplicate, promote this. There we go. Okay, so this is specifically just a cast, and then obviously bang that in ref. You don't know ref. There we go. Right. So before it destroys the actor, when it hits it, if it hits something, so if the component hits something, you want to add velocity. Now this is not necessarily hitting a specific thing. It's not necessarily hitting a box or hitting an AI. Where I'm adding it to is specifically just to get points, so we can generate points. So I haven't got to build the whole AI system to generate 1 point. There's a quick, easy way for me to generate points, so we can be able to spend them points and upgrade our weapon as we spend them points, and put little perks in like that. Because obviously you might want to buy a new weapon, or you might want to upgrade that weapon, for example, or buy food or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're going to need points for that. So what I'm doing is just specifically on the projectile. As soon as the projectile fires, as soon as it hits anything, it could be the wall, it could be the floor, it could be a box, it could be a plate, it could be absolutely anything, it's going to add 10 points. But I need this cast here to get to the points. So if I pull off the third person character here, get points, oh god, not that, first person character points. Okay, so we're going to get the points and we're going to add to that. It's a simple method, and what we're going to add to that is 10. Okay, and then we're going to drag off this third person and put a reroll note in, because I like things nice and neat. I don't know about anyone else, but if you highlight them both and press Q, it puts it nice and neat for you. Right, this is just temporary, but this is just the way I know, that I can get us points quickly. And then I want to set points. Okay, connect that to there, bring this up to here. We still want to destroy the actor, and we still want to add the points. So now, because we've added that in this first person projectile and press play, every time we fired a gun, when we've got a gun in our hand, of course, it should give us 10 points. Oh, okay, so it doesn't matter. Only if it hits... Oh, okay, only if it hits a cube, which is good. So shooting this cube is going to give us points, but shooting this wall isn't. So that's what we pretty much want, unless the rebound, unless it rebounds and hits the cube. Okay, so now we've got 590 points. Now that's not going to save. You want to play, that's not going to save. Okay, we now need to create the little shop that we want to be able to upgrade our gun in, for example, or buy health kits, or buy anything that you need. So I'm going to go up to edit, I'm going to go to project settings, I'm going to go to inputs, and I'm going to go input action mappings. I'm going to add one, and I'm going to call this interact. Oh, that's not H for interact, but fuck it. If you press this icon here and press the button that you want, it'll go E. And that's what I want. That's going to be a pain, but fuck it. Go to first person character, and what we want to do is we want to interact. That's going to be a pain because I don't know how to spell it. Event interact, there you go. So when you press this button on the event interact, it's going to be the button E, but we need to create the thing that you can open up. So on your first person character, you have a capture component, which if you right click and add event, you could put on component begin overlap, and you can also add on begin component end lap. Now this is the main HUD, and what I want to do is add a bit of text in the middle, which simply comes on and off. So the text is going to be in red, that's pink, oh that's orange, that do, and it's simply going to say in brackets E. Yeah, that's all it's going to say, and we're going to set that in the middle, so we can set it middle, click on it, and then anchor it to the middle. Okay, click on it and type the visibility to collapsed. So when you press play, it's not going to be on the screen straight away, only when you interact with something. Now what we want to do, we want to be able to say that we've interacted, that we're interacting with something. So on the component begin overlap, out of the other actor that we've supposedly overlapped, we want to put does implement interface, and we want to put that on both. So well, not control C yet, but first person character, blueprints, right click, blueprints interface, and we're going to call this shopkeeper interact. Okay. Shopkeeper. Let's call it shopkeeper interface. Interface. There we go. And for now, there's going to be nothing in it. It's just literally a check. Back to third person character and shopkeeper interface. Control D, duplicate that and plug that into there like this. Then off these we want to hit a branch, so we want to check to see if it has the interface. If it does, then we want to show the thing. Okay, so we're going to interact that and interact that. Let's drag this down a bit so we've got a little bit of space. Now, if it does, we want to grab the main HUD and we need to change the text of this. So we need to change this to just in brackets E. Compile, save. And that's it. Right, so from here we want to get E. Oh, that's going to be a pain, isn't it? Yeah. Change that to interact. That's not how you spell interact. Interact. There we go. Compile, save. That's probably not how you spell it. I'm not the best speller in the world. So interact. Did I save it? Compile, save. It needs to be a variable. That's why. Pull out here, interact. Get interact. And what we want to do is put these down in between here. We want to set visibility here and also set visibility here. So if it's true, we want to set it to visible. If it's false, we want to set it to hidden. So properties intact cannot be found. Why? Oh, because we ain't compiled it. There you go. Boom. Right, so now we need to create that. So get rid of the project settings, get rid of the projectile and the rifle for the minute, and the point holder widget. We now need to right click, create a new folder and call this shop keeper. Drag the interface in it. Easy peasy. Right. Create an act type and call this shop keeper. Oh. Excuse me. Puppies are going nuts. Get a static mesh for that. And a box collision. Okay. And the box collision is literally just the box collision of when we walk into something. So I don't actually think that's supposed to be on. I don't actually think that's supposed to be on the capsule component. I think the capsule component is supposed to be the other thing. But we shall see. Have I messed it up? I think I messed it up already. Oh well, we're going to put this as a cone, for example, and we're going to make this massive. Well, not the cone, the box. Not that big, but big enough. Okay, and we're going to set that to untick hidden in game. So when we drag this out, we can see it. Okay, and then shopkeeper class settings, add interface, shopkeeper interface, compile, save, go. Now whether this works or not, I don't know. Yeah, so E and then off E, E and then off E, E and then off E. Right, so if this is true, so for the visibility, if it's true, then we want to create a variable and call this overlap true, and make this a boolean. Okay, then we want to set it here, set the overlap to true, and then duplicate that and set the overlap here to false. Okay, so when we press this, we want to do a branch check. Okay, so we need to know what we're going to be opening, because obviously Interact's going to have a lot of sections in it, and we want everything to be completely different. So E is going to be used quite a lot. So like interacting with people, trading with people, message, things like that. So I'm doing it this way to make it so I can control when the E's pressed what I want it to do. So if the overlap is true, then I want to show the main HUD widget, which I haven't built yet. So Control P, and then obviously if it's false, then remove from parent, or set the visibility, which is the best way of doing it. So if we go to first person, blueprints, widgets, and go right click, use the interface, widget blueprint, use the widget and type in shopkeeper. Want shopkeeper widget. Then we need to create a size box, drag it in again, then obviously right click the size box, wrap with border, change the border color to, again, if we go to this one, click on the color of the border, open it up. If you drag this old into here, it will save it, and then we can use it on the shopkeeper widget as well. So go here and click on that. There we go. So we get the nice blue border, and then obviously the size box, we now need to add a horizontal box, which is going to be the text holder, should I say text holder, and the text is going to say shopkeeper. This is very basic, but why do I keep doing that? This is very basic, and once you've I'm going to center it, maybe make it a little bit bigger. So if we go in the font, we can make it, let's say, actually no, we need to desire it first, and then we need to set the size of the overall width. So I'm going to go 600 by no, let's go 450 by 800. Okay, so it gives you a nice long list. That's probably too long, so that probably needs to come down to about 600. Let's go 650. There we go. Right, so this is the shopkeeper, this is the border, this is what we're going to be doing just for the moment in there. Now things are going to start getting tricky. Okay, not adding it to the main HUD. The main HUD is easy. We can literally go user create shopkeeper widget, and that's where we want it to spawn. Make it as big as we want, probably about there. Okay, so probably about there. Shopkeeper widget, and we want to set the visibility to collapsed for now. Save. Go back to the third person character here, main HUD, and then get the shopkeeper widget again. We need both of these because they're both going to go in separate ways. We're going to set visibility on this and connect that there, and we're going to Control C and set visibility on this as well, because obviously if it's false, we don't want to be opening this box. We want to keep it collapsed. And as you can tell now, when we click continue, compile, save, make sure everything's saved, press play, As long as we are in the box and we press E, the shopkeeper's going to come up, and then obviously now, and we press E, come out of it and press E, it's going to go away. But we want it to go away when we move out of the box, or when we press E again. So it only happens, so you press E, do what you need to do, and then it'll only move out of the box. So we want it to move out of the box when we're actually, so from the end overlap. So yeah, it's going to hide the interaction button and it's going to set this, but we also want it to check to see that if the box is open. Yeah, so if the visibility is set to visible, yeah, now a minute, I'm confusing myself. Right, so when we highlight into this box, the word E is going to come up. We press E on the keyboard. Now if we press E out here, nothing happens. It's only when we're in this box, E. Now the shopkeeper opens. We could freeze the game, okay? But what we want to be able to do is, if the shopkeeper is open, so on the false, if overlap is true, if the overlap is true and it's already visible, then close it, okay? Because we're always going to be in the overlap when we're there. So we need to not put this here, but do an if section. So another one, so obviously this is open, yeah, we need to create a variable and we need to put shopkeeper widget open question mark, and we need to set this here. Oh, if you hold control and drag it out, it's not control, I think it's alt. Is it alt? Yeah, if you hold alt and drag it out, it gives you a set anyway. Right, so the shopkeeper widget is open. So we're going to check this here before. So if the overlap is true and the shopkeeper widget isn't open, okay. So if the overlap is true and the shopkeeper widget isn't open yet, we want to go into the false button here. Get rid of that. We want to go into the false button here. But if it is already open, if it is already, oh God, if it is already open, then we want to copy this, Control C, Control V, put it into the true pin and collapse it, and then Control D this, oh, and flick it off. That should get rid of that bug, and then you can collapse that into a function. If the overlap is true, okay. So when we press play and we walk over to here, if we press E, nothing happens, okay, because the overlap, the first branch is saying no, we're not overlapping. We press E, we do what we want, but now even though we're in it, we press E again, it will close it, okay. But as you can tell, that the E is still there, so we need to remove this E also, okay. Right, so also what we need to do is that when we press E here, we move out of the box, it stays on. So there's two little bugs that we need to sort out there. So the first bug is overlapping true? Okay, if overlapping is true, then we want to hide the other thing, okay. So if overlapping is true, and I'm saying, I'll show you this can be all one part of your thingy. So if overlapping is true, we want to hide the interact, okay. So we want to set this, set visibility of this to collapse, because we don't need it no more because we're already in it, yeah. Okay, we are gonna close all this down. So this is the overlap true. So we're gonna close all this down. All right. So don't worry about how big it actually is getting. It's gonna close down into a function. It'll be a quite easy function. So I'll say that this should have fixed that. So now when we go into here, we press E, it gets rid of it. Here, press E, it'll come back. The next one is when we press E and we walk out of the box. Okay, so when we press E and walk out of the box, so this is a check for the begin tick. Do we have a begin tick already? Oh, event tick, begin tick, it does it. So this is for the event tick. So we need to check to see if the shopkeeper widget is already open on the event tick. No, we're not going to do that because that's too resourceful. So now down here, we want to do exactly the same. So on component end overlap, we want to set the overlap, and then we also want to come down here with this section, Control C, and is widget open? No, this section, sorry. Control C, and paste it down here, Control V. So now we walk into here, you press C, you walk out, it gets rid of it. Press C, you walk out, it gets rid of it. You press C, you press C in there, it gets rid of it. So there's a few bugs. So now you can run around, oh shit, E, do what you need to do, come out of it. So obviously, when we're in that widget, so I'm just finishing my fag. Sorry about that, my dog wanted a stroke. Barking at me. So I've lost it. I was just about to go. What was we on, Adam? Oh yeah, so this overlap true. So this overlap true is, I'm going to rename this to shopkeeper overlap true. Okay, so shopkeeper overlap true, because what we're going to do is we're going to control all this, right click, collapse to a function, and call this function shopkeeper underscore open slash close widget. So we know exactly what that's doing. Okay, so that is the thing. Now, if there was something else like talk to an NPC with E, yeah, or pick up E, you come off this. Okay, so this will be pick up. Okay, so this would be in a branch pick up. Yeah, and then that's how you build your interact button. So this is obviously just the first section of it, and then down here, obviously, if on component begin overlap, if it doesn't implement the shopkeeper, is going to come off false, and then you're going to get a print string to say, then you're going to come off false to another branch saying does it implement this one, which is pickup, and it'll be true, and then you can set the visibility blah 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 blah, and bring it up to set the whatever it is. So say set pickup overlap true, and then you would create a branch up here saying pickup overlap true, same as this is shopkeeper overlap true, off this false, and then you can work off and make your widgets, your functions and your widgets all work. But that's literally how I'm going to do it there. Right, so now this is where it gets tricky, and I think I should leave it to the next video, as we're 40 minutes into this video. So thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to jump straight back on and start recording straight after this and get a good way through this Shopkeeper series. I hope this has helped. If it has, please subscribe, like and share. Yeah, this is Bulldog Games, and Bulldog Games is out.